Hi there, welcome to Ceramics with Miss Tomimitsu. Today we are going to finish our Oaxacan animal, assembling all the leather hard parts. And this is my Oaxacan animal I've been working on. It's inspired by my cat Cosette, the marshmallow. And just to get started, first off, remember the condition of the clay, everything should be leather hard. So all my appliques that I haven't applied yet, the arms and legs, the limbs, and the tail are all leather hard, and the body and the head. Now, the tools that you'd like to have for today, of course, you always want to have your water, sponges, variety of sponges, a metal rib, the combs, a variety of brushes or several brushes. And I like these firmer brushes for cleaning up. And then a couple different sizes of perfect hole makers, scoring tool, needle tool, knife, and I really like this handy dandy sculpting tool. It's one of my favorites. Now, to get started, because this is a closed vessel, all of these, the body and the head are both have big air bubbles inside. And so we have to release the air in order to fire this piece in the kiln. And every time we join something, you're going to add a hole to do that. So these ones already have their holes, the limbs. So I'm going to start just by placing, first off, seeing where I'm going to place the head. And I kind of already indicated with little marks where I want to put it. So I'm going to put it about here. And so I'm going to place a hole, and I'm going to indicate where I want it here. So I'm going to put a hole in both of those spots. For the head, I'm just going to use the small perfect hole maker, and you don't stab it. You just want to twist and go through. And now this is a hollow vessel, so the hole's there, and the air can escape through into the body. And this is where I'm going to add the hole for the body. And again, just puncture it and twist. And now, so we have enough surface space for the connection. I don't want to just connect it by scoring and slipping just yet. I want to go ahead and angle or make like a ramp the hole for the body. And it also allows for more surface space for the connection. And so you have a stronger connection. It's less likely to break. And it just kind of tucks into the body, the head, and it kind of gives it a nicer look, more aesthetically pleasing. So I kind of like it more like that, okay? So to start, I'm gonna go, or next step would be to go ahead and score and slip. So I'm gonna use my water and give it some really nice deep hatching and cross hatching. And when you do that, you'll notice you're scoring, but you ultimately it starts to create slip as well, that mud that you need that kind of acts like the glue. So put that down, and you want to score both connections. So I'm going to be careful not to damage the sculptural aspects of the head. So I'm going to be careful where I hold it, and score and slip really well. Here's on this joint as well. So now, and you know what, I'm going to go a little farther out, because I have all that surface space out here. I'm going to make sure if some water went in there, just to get that out. And I'm going to apply the head to the body. And when I do this, I want to really add a lot of pressure, again, without knocking any of these little appliques or messing up any of the fine detail of the sculptural part. And give it kind of a little twist. And that also will push out any air that gets trapped in the joints. And it's on. And then I'm going to take my dry brush and just go around and clean up any slip that's spilt out, which should. If you scored and slipped really well, you should have slip kind of spill out the sides to it. And later on, I can do some more cleaning up, but that's just the initial start. So if you see, the connection's really nicely done. And now I'm going to start adding the limbs. So my cat Cosette is kind of special because she only has 2 toes on one of the hands, so, and like a little bit of a thumb on one of her paws. So I identified that with the sculpture, and I think this is where I want to put the limbs. So I'm just gonna trace a little mark here for this one and a little mark here for this one. And they're just gonna plop right on. So I'm gonna use the Perfect Hole Maker on both of them. And then, and if the clay goes inside, that's no problem. Later on, you're gonna be cutting out the bottom anyway, or I'll be cutting out the bottom anyway, and I can just take it out there. Or you have a bell where it can just ring around in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and score and slip really well. And another tool that you can score and slip with, you don't get as deep as scoring marks, but it goes faster, is the comb. So I'm gonna use the comb for this part. And I'm gonna move these little appliques out of the way because I don't want them to get hydrated or rehydrated, and the rest of the limbs as well. And just going in, and oopsie, oh, I just got a little nick in her ear now I can fix later. But scoring and slipping. And again, I'm gonna score and slip my connections. And I'm gonna do the paw as well, the other paw, her special paw. And my kitty cat it looks like a little hook now on her paw where she had a couple of her toes removed. And again, I used to always call these her kitten mittens. And then she got a kitten mitten damaged, but she's fine now. And I'm gonna take my brush. Oh. Now you know where I'm filming from. Okay. And now I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna put the feet. Do I want them going downwards? It looks like a little baby. Upwards, kind of inwards. I'm gonna look at that and then look at the place because it's important of how I'll do the tail. I think I like them kind of just going upwards because later on I'm going to be applying some claws on there, and I think this would be the most interesting. So I'm just going to, first off, I like where I'm going to add the tail. So I'm just going to outline again where the tail is going to go. And then I'm going to outline, oopsie, where I plan for these two legs to go. I might have to scoot that one down a little from the other. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in again, add my hole, and again, don't stab quickly. Just spin it, just puncture and kind of spin the Perfect Hole Maker. And then go ahead and score and slip. And again, I can use my scoring tool and make all that mud on there, that slip. Or I can grab a comb and do the same with a comb. I think I'll just use the comb. We've been using these more this year and I really like it. Except you gotta really clean it out because the mud does get into those teeth and you don't want that stuff going into the sink. So score and slip really well. Score and slip here. I'm gonna score and slip this one and put them on around the same time so that I can get them to be even. And again, we're gonna have them kind of going forward. And I'm not gonna clean that up quite so much yet because I wanna double check with the tail and how I like that. And I really like that. I hope you do too. So, my viewer. And I'm gonna go ahead and give it a tail for the hole. This is awkward. And, and, lift him up so you can see. Again, score and slip really well. It's not a butthole because it's a hole for the tail. And I'm gonna just apply that. And remember, all these parts are hollow. So right now, if I were to forget to add a final hole under him or give him a butthole or something, this would still be a little bomb in the kiln, okay? But we'll end up giving it another hole eventually to let the air escape. after I join all these parts. And I'm gonna put really good pressure because I like where these are gonna be. I like how it's standing up, or how it's upright, or he's on his back looking up, you know, with his belly up. And I'm gonna go in now with my brush again and just clean up all of that, those scoring marks and that slipped out. Okay, and for the most part, I'm done. Again, I still have to add my hole. And oh, I had some appliques I was gonna put on the belly, little spikes. But you know what? I think I might have changed my mind. I may decide later on, maybe put some on his back, because my cat is a furry cat. So I might give him some little spikes back here. But for now, I think I'm just gonna leave it just like this. And I guess since we gotta give it a hole, we can do something kind of funny, because I have a funny cat anyway. And we can go in with the perfect hole maker, or actually just the needle tool, and we can give it a butthole. So, because it has to let that, we have to let that air escape somehow, right? And it's only natural. So he's got a little hole now to let the air escape under his tail, okay? And my cat is all put together. Cosette the marshmallow. Okay. And yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait. Maybe I might add some more appliques, like I was saying, maybe some spikes to his back. I'm not really sure, but for now I'm really happy with how this turned out. So, and I hope you learned something and enjoying viewing the putting together of Cosette the marshmallow, a closed vessel, ceramic sculpture that will eventually be, you have impressions and painting as a Oaxacan animal from the state of Oaxaca to represent that culture. Thank you. Have a great day. Goodbye.